This week on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast, I'm sharing with you some interesting and hopefully useful articles I've been reading lately. Today, I'm talking about a recent article from the Wall Street Journal on New Year's resolutions. Most of us probably realize that few resolutions stick. I'm trying to think on New Year's resolutions that I've made in the past and how many of those stick, and I can't think of any. I've certainly made changes to my life, but as far as what New Year's resolutions I've made that I've stuck with all through the year and even into the rest of my life, I don't know. Maybe 0 is the right number there. And of course, there are lots of reasons for this, but in this particular article, the author suggests instead of resolving to become a different person in 2025, try setting achievable goals and embracing what the author calls radical doability. So I really like this article because the author is Oliver Burkeman. He talks about what keeps us from accomplishing things, the New Year's resolutions that we might set out to do, is not necessarily a lack of self-discipline. He says more often, it's this very idea that we need to make sweeping changes and to make ourselves unrecognizable. Like it's this big, scary change that can be really self-defeating. And he says, quote, with a new year beginning, we want to finally feel that we're in the driver's seat when it comes to our health, finances, personality traits, and so on. We want to rid ourselves of the feeling so vividly described by English novelist Arnold Bennett, quote, the years slip by and slip by and slip by, and that we have not yet been able to get our lives into proper working order. Well, if you felt like that, I certainly feel like that sometimes. But he says, by contrast, actually making a change in your life here and now requires a surrender of control. So instead of trying to wrangle back control, we actually have to give up some control. It demands that you exercise for 20 minutes today, even if you don't have the best running shoes, with no certainty that you'll enjoy the experience or manage to turn it into a long-term habit. Maybe you'll never do it even once again. Who can say? He goes on to say everything rests on our capacity to navigate from moment to moment, making the best decisions we can and not allowing ourselves to be disheartened by the ways in which our journey doesn't exactly map the plans we might have had for it. In this situation, the only action that really matters is the one that you take right now. Now, this really resonates with me because I'm a planner. So New Year's resolutions appeal to me because I have goals and I want to set goals and I like to do things and grow and change and improve in various ways. And it's nice and it's comforting to kind of map this out. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do in the new year. This is how I want to change my life. You know, I want to lose 10 pounds, but things happen. And what I've noticed after having kids, especially the more kids I have, is change is very common. So we map things out, we plan things, especially if you're type A like me. You plan things and then you get curveballs. Like you might resolve to start running every day. And then your calf starts hurting or you get a cold. And so you take a week off and then we just kind of fall by the wayside and things happen. But the author talks about how really you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go running every day. If you want to start exercising more, fine, great, do that. But start where you are. So we don't need to become someone else or make radical changes. We just need to start where we are. And this is true too for financial topics. So if you need to save more for retirement, whatever that goal is that you have, whether it's finances or health or something else, we have to remember to start where we are. Because it's overwhelming. If you are way behind on saving for retirement and you have like half of the amount that you should have saved at this point, then it's incredibly overwhelming to be like, oh my gosh, I have to save so much in such a short period of time. The better thing to do is just to start where you are and start with what you can do. What can you do today? Can you go on a walk for 10 minutes? Can you save 1% more of your income? Most of us can make these small changes. Going back to what I mentioned earlier with radical doability, he also says that we want to engage in new habits daily-ish. We're not trying to be rigidly consistent. Like, I'm going to do this every single day for the rest of my life. It's okay if you get sick or you get hurt or you're something else, some other curveball throws you off track. If we want to make progress towards this goal, that's fine to miss a few days. We want it to be a doable goal. And that also means focusing on a limited number of goals at a time. So, not taking on too much, not trying to change too many things. One example is I like to drink wine. I don't drink a lot, but I would probably drink most days of the week, and I'd maybe have one glass. So, on average, let's say I had one glass of wine a day, which, I'm never getting drunk off of that, unfortunately. But so I have one glass of wine a day. Okay, that's roughly 100 calories, a little bit more than that. And if I do that for an entire year, well, first of all, if there's 30 days in a month and it's 100 calories a day on average, I'm saving a little over 3,000 calories a month. And if my memory serves correctly, a pound of body fat weighs 3,500 calories is 1 pound of body fat. So if I want to lose weight, I can make a small change and cut out wine. And I should, if I don't change anything else, I should actually see some progress with doing that. So those are the kinds of things. And maybe, will I ever drink wine again? Certainly, yes. Do I miss it that much? No, not really. So it was a relatively easy adjustment to make that will help me meet my weight loss goals that I don't feel like I'm missing out all that much. So I like the ideas behind this article and not making sweeping, life altering changes and trying to be this new you, but just starting to do a few things differently. And if you're not perfect at it, if you don't do it every day, great. That's not what matters. Starting where you are is what matters. And doing something, even if it's not perfect, even if it's, you don't have everything all figured out, that's okay. And that's how we make real progress over the long term. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ashley Michike, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips Podcast.